Hi everyone, my name is Tyler Oakley, and oh my god, I know we have been talking about the election forever, but it is finally coming to an end, and I feel like we can almost breathe a sigh of relief. So if you have been living under a rock, the 2020 election has happened, and oh girl, what a doozy. Full of twists and turns, and these states living for the drama. I feel like I have been living Election Day Tuesday for days now. While we waited for all of the results, it has been like a slow little trickle of good news, and I am feeling really good. First and foremost, let's talk about the presidency because, oh my god, Trump versus Biden. I was really honestly nervous because in 2016, I was confident. I feel like a lot of people were like, okay, surely nobody's gonna elect a reality TV star who is sexist, a rapist, Islamophobic, homophobic, transphobic, all of these terrible things that should be disqualifying, and yet tens of millions of people voted for him. And then after 4 years of every single day Trump reminding us exactly who he is and exactly why he doesn't deserve 4 more years, it felt like the Make America Great Again people were just so stubborn and doubling down on their reality TV star president. And then when I think about 2020 and how Trump and Pence have completely fucked up the pandemic response in America, the fact that as of this week there are 235,000 deaths in America because of the pandemic that Trump and Pence mishandled, plus every single day America is breaking its own record on new cases of coronavirus in this country. Who could look at how the last year was handled and think this president deserves 4 more years? Which leads me to the results of the 2020 election. And I was really hoping that it would be the biggest turnout ever, the biggest blowout and blue wave, and just Trump getting his ass handed to him. But what I found was that so many Republicans and so many Trump cult members just doubled down. And I feel like my biggest takeaway from the 2020 election is even if Biden won the popular vote, the Electoral College, there were still 70 million people that saw everything that we know about Trump and decided, yeah, I'll do 4 more years of that. Trumpism is a death cult. These people do not care if they get coronavirus. These people do not care about democracy. As long as they get their way, it's terrifying. It's frightening that these people live among us. The well of America is poisoned, and I feel like we have so much work to do when it comes to fixing our problems in the country. It's the people that are glued to Fox News. It's the QAnon conspiracy theorists. It's our parents on Facebook sharing misinformation every single day. So yeah, I want to celebrate all of the progressive wins of the 2020 election, but the fact that so many people have worms in their brains kind of puts a damper on all of that. Trump and all of his Republican cronies have done so much damage to America and faith in democracy and elections. There's gonna be a lot of work that we all have to do. So despite all the people that voted for Trump and endorsed everything he stands for, there are many reasons that I am choosing to be happy about this election. First and foremost, Biden won, and it's not up for debate. He won the Electoral College, he won the popular vote, and he got more votes than any candidate in the history of America. At the end of the day, I am relieved because the most pressing issue of all is COVID, and finally we are going to have somebody in the White House that listens to scientists and has a game plan to hopefully stop the spread of a deadly disease. There is something so relieving about a future where I don't have to worry about what the president is going to tweet that day or which country he's going to piss off. Feeling like a return to a calm country feels good. And on top of Joe Biden winning, the thought of replacing Mike Pence with somebody like Kamala Harris, who is going to be the first female vice president, the first person of color who is vice president, it's historic. It is groundbreaking. But y'all know this election was more than just about the presidency. There was so much more on the ballot, and I feel pretty good about a lot of the outcomes. A lot of progressive issues got passed all across the country. In these 5 states, they legalized cannabis, which I guess I'm gonna have to come visit. Plus, on top of that, Oregon became the very first state to decriminalize all drug use, which I think is really important because when somebody is struggling with addiction, the last thing they need to do is be punished by the law and go to prison. And instead what they're doing is using the tax revenue from the sales of marijuana to fund drug addiction treatment programs in Oregon, which I think is a step in the right direction. Over in Florida, they are raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, which is important because everyone deserves a livable wage. In California, they are giving the right to vote back to incarcerated people. In Mississippi, they are updating their state flag to get rid of the Confederate flag. And not only are we celebrating a blue wave this year, but we are also celebrating a rainbow wave. Wow, look at all of these queer people doing the damn thing. We got somebody who is the very first openly transgender state US Senator. We have Oklahoma's very first non-binary and Muslim legislator, and the very first openly gay black men ever elected to Congress. And as somebody who considers themselves pretty progressive, I am thrilled to say that all 4 members of the squad have been reelected, and they are joined by 4 new members who are just as progressive and are probably gonna be kicking butt in Congress. Now, while I do want to celebrate all of these wins, it really was an uphill battle. We are fighting so much voter suppression in America, it is astounding. But there is one person that I think really deserves a lot of praise for being a true MVP of the 2020 election, and that is Stacey Abrams. So if you don't know who Stacey Abrams is, this is Stacey Abrams. She ran for governor in Georgia in 2018, and because of a whole bunch of sketchy voter suppression that was going on in that state, she ended up not winning the race, but she did not give up. She has spent the last 2 years determined to flip Georgia blue, and a lot of people were like, oh girl, that's not gonna happen, that is not possible. And lo and behold, Stacey Abrams organized and was able to register 800,000 new voters in Georgia, and because of her and other grassroots organizers, Georgia flipped blue. Okay, now we got the presidency, we still have the House, all that's left is the Senate, which brings us back to Georgia. So the rules of America's democracy are a mess, and I feel like so many of y'all are like, how does this work? What's going on? Almost all of the 2020 election is over because the results were definitive, except 2 races in Georgia. There are 2 Senate seats in Georgia, and because of the rules of that election, in the state of Georgia, to win a Senate seat, you need more than 50% of the votes to win. And because no Senate candidates in Georgia passed that threshold, we are having a runoff election in January. I would say every election in America is pretty important, but this is really gonna determine a lot for the next 4 years. If in the runoff election in January, Democrats are able to take both Senate seats in Georgia, we will have 50 Democrats in the Senate and 50 Republicans in the Senate, which means any tie vote in the Senate will be determined by the Vice President, Kamala Harris. If Democrats don't win those 2 runoff elections in Georgia for the Senate seats, it is going to be very hard to get anything we want to accomplish done during the Biden presidency. So yes, while I really do want to celebrate all of the wins we've had, it really does come down to these last 2 elections in January. So now it is all hands on deck. If you are watching, if you are excited about the direction of America, we're not quite there yet. So where does that leave us? Okay, well, we have less than 2 months to do the damn thing. If you know anybody in Georgia, call them. If you are in Georgia and you are gonna be 18 by January 5th, please register to vote and be ready to help elect these 2 Democrat senators. All of our hard work in the 2020 election doesn't mean much if we can't win these 2 Senate seats, so it's all on the line. I am gonna make a little checklist of things that you can do, whether it's people that you can support, places you can donate, or maybe even organizations that you can get involved with in the description below. If you wanna help in the Senate race in Georgia, please, I am gonna try to do everything I can. Hopefully, if you are watching, you are inspired to do everything you can. Personally, I am looking to organizers like Stacey Abrams and following their lead, because clearly she knows what she's doing. So if you're watching and you wanna get involved, it would mean the world to me. Check the links in the description below. Okay, that is all I have for you guys today. I know this video was so much, but honestly, there's a lot going on, and I just wanna put it all out there, help you all understand, and hopefully do some more work to get us there. Okay, that is all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I would like to know, what are you celebrating from the 2020 election? Let me know in the comments below. I feel like I am losing my voice. I just, I had a lot of thoughts and opinions today, so I've been screaming at my camera. I hope, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next week. In the meantime, let's get to work in Georgia. Bye, y'all.